Hi! If you've seen any of my videos before, then this might be a bit of an oddball, but I've always had such an interest in doll customizing. When I decided I wanted to attempt and dive into the world of customs, I thought it'd be fun to take you all along with me as I learn. Now, when I was younger, me and my little sister would customize our dolls, and yeah, they looked exactly what you would expect of a 15-year-old and a 9-year-old. But as I've gotten older, that love of craft never really went away. And I decided as an adult, with adult money and a bit more of honed art skills, I want to try my hand at creating a fully custom doll. With my couple of face paints and hours of delightful videos under my belt, felt like I had a pretty good chance of this project turning out okay. So let's just jump straight on in and start working on this girl. For this project, I want to attempt to make a doll of my online persona. I had this idea a while back of having a little mini-me and a little miniature of my character to take with when I go to conventions and events. I was obsessed. Now for this project, I will be sacrificing this lovely G3 Laguna Blue doll. I really love the Monster High G3, their body types and just their sculpts. And I have a stupid amount of Lagunas, so I thought she'd be a good, good choice. Now let's get her prepped. Her face has got to go. So I started attempting to wipe it off with some acetone, and I don't know, maybe I just have really shitty acetone, but dear lord, this took a lot of scrubbing. Now I attempted to pull her head off just to make it easier for me to get inside her head and pull out all the hair plugs, but I couldn't get it off. I tried soaking it in boiling water, but it just wouldn't budge. And so out of fear of breaking her neck peg, I gave up, and I opted to just cut her head open from the back. In case you can't tell, I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it. Please don't take anything I do in this video as reference or tutorial. I'm very much just learning as I go. Anyway, now that she has a beautiful head injury and no more facial features, I took my scissors and I just start scraping out all of the plugs and glue inside of her head. Oh, ew. Alrighty, she's bald, faceless. Now we just gotta take care of those fins and ears. My character is technically a sea creature-esque kind of guy, but she's more squid than fish, so they gotta go. This footage is kinda hard to watch. When I said don't use this as a tutorial, I meant it. This is not proper X-Acto knife safety. Like, I'm nervous watching this back editing, and I know I didn't hurt myself in this process, but dang girl, yeah, just cut directly towards your finger. That's smart. Yeah, we're just gonna skip right on past this. I think you guys get the picture. Fins, they go bye-bye. Now her ears. My girl has some cute little elf ears, and the easiest way to make these would probably just to cut these bad boys off and then sculpt some ears, but I decided not to do that. For some reason, during the making of this doll, I really didn't want to use clay. I don't know why. I have so many different types. I have epoxy, sculpt, polymer, air dry clay, oven bake, legit every choice of clay out there, but I didn't want to pull it out, so I had the genius idea just to carve the fish ears into elf ears. So yeah, here we go, back at it with the stellar knife safety. At least it's a little bit more watchable than last time. Alright, now Laguna is officially down to the basics. I do a quick sand job just to rough up this plastics in an attempt to give something for my paints to grab onto. But before we paint her, we have one last task. Let's get this girl primed. I take her outside and give her a nice generous spray of Mr. Super Clear. Now, while we wait for that to dry, let's get her hair prepped. I decided to use yarn for her hair for a couple of different reasons. I am terrible at styling doll hair, like bad. And so I knew trying to achieve this hairstyle with slippery nylon would probably kill me. And I thought the puffiness of the yarn would really suit her and help, again, achieve this hairstyle. I cut the yarn into smaller sections and then pull that apart so I have 3 small strands. And I repeat this step over and over and over and over again until I have a nice pile of future hair. Now, after waiting a little bit longer for the doll to finish drying, it's time to start with the painting process. I am really bad at mixing colors. But after adding some paint, mixing, adding more paint, mixing again, and just rinse and repeat over and over, I finally get a pretty good match. Or well, it's close enough, we're going with it. So let's put it on her. I start with a thin, watered down layer of paint. I want everything to go on as smoothly as possible, and hopefully with the layers being lighter, it'll be less likely to chip and peel, but who knows, I certainly don't. Again, winging it. Takes about 4-ish layers to get the paint fully opaque. Now that she's opaque, time for the fun stuff. Let's give her some life by adding blushing to her old joints. I go in mixes of red, pinks, and a bit of purple. I want to try to blend the natural skin tones with her little blue patches and give it the best chance of looking good together as I can. I also give her face a bit of blushing on the cheeks and prep her lips and eyes for later when I go in her face up. After blushing her, I give her yet another layer of Mr. Super Clear to seal it all in. And after she dries, I pull out my watercolor pencils. It's time to start mapping out her blue patches on her face and along her body. I was really trying hard to match up the spots as accurately as I could to her reference sheet, but for the spots on her legs, I just got to wing it. And now that we've got that all mapped out, it's time to lay down the paint. It took a while, but after a couple layers, we can finally get it fully opaque. Now it's time for the fun stuff, the face up. One of my favorite things to draw are faces, and so getting to paint little tiny faces on cute dolls is just a blast. I really wanted to do her face up justice, so I went in nice and slow, but just started getting it mapped out. Now, I don't think I ever actually mentioned this anywhere, but my character here is actually supposed to be a girl mixed with a glow squid. Yeah, I know, a bit of an odd combo, and if you're not a Minecraft fan, then you probably don't really even know what this odd creature is. And if you are a Minecraft fan, you're probably thinking, out of all the Minecraft moms, why the hell would you choose a glow squid? And that is a very good question. I like him. They're silly little guys, and they sparkle and they glow, and I love it. I've always had my glow squid girl as just an OC, and when I decided I want to make an art business, she got elected to be my mascot. And she's had quite a lot of redesigns and alterations over the last couple of years, so who knows, maybe I'll make a dedicated video where I talk about her very interesting, origins. As I'm finishing up the face, it's time to turn our attention back to our hair. Now, originally I had gotten this yarn a long time ago because I knew eventually that I would be making this doll, but she has since had a redesign, so the bright teal color isn't quite right for her hair anymore. I was trying to convince myself that it would still work, but it just won't, so I had to find a new substitute. And I am so glad that I did, because I found this perfect replacement. It's the right color and it also has this like shiny look to it. It's perfect. So I gotta get some more strands prepped and we'll have this girl rerouted. I have never attempted to reroute a doll before, so I was running in completely blind. I started with getting my reroute tool made. I took a thick embroidery needle and chopped the eyelet off at a bit of an angle, and then stuck that said needle into a drill bit. With my newly made tool in hand, I took some yarn, stuck it onto my needle, and stabbed it in her head. And it didn't work? Okay, give me a sec here. Okay. Attempt number 2. Take said tool, string some hair on it, stab the needle into the head, bam! There we go. Takes a bit of work to get the hair to actually stay and not pop out with the needle. And there's a lot of hair that needs to be stabbed in, so I'm gonna pop on a movie, and I'll check back in when I got her full head of hair done. Alrighty, this is where we're at. Off screen, I went in and sewed up her giant gash in the head with embroidery thread. And I was able to keep on plugging around it. Oh my gosh, this girl has a lot of hair. I'm gonna be so for real. I was kind of panicking when I got to the stage. I was so scared about styling her hair. I didn't even know where to start with styling this mess. After debating and just kind of staring at her for a while, I started tying up sections of her hair. The first part is that kind of top short layer of hair, and the second being just the long under bits. She's supposed to have like a jellyfish-esque haircut, so I just started watching jellyfish haircut tutorials to kind of help me out with the styling. Once I get these two parts cut, I can go in and start trying to shape it up and get it as close to my reference as I can. Now, let's shift focus onto her clothing. I am not that great at sewing. I know the basics, and I've made a couple of small things for cosplays, and again, not that great at sewing, so I decided to take the easy way out, and I dug through my already made doll clothes and pulled some items I thought would work. So we're not going to get her exact outfit, but we're going to get as close as we can. Now, I found these black jeans I bought from a doll artist back on Etsy a huge time ago in like a doll clothes pack. And then I got this top from a Rainbow High doll. And the black mesh and these boots are from the G3 Draculaura. For the top, I took some alcohol markers and just colored it green. Yeah, I know, we're really professional and fancy here on this channel. And then for accessories, I painted this backpack to kind of match her vibe. And then I added some little small things to her outfit, like little beaded bracelets I made with some tiny seed beads, a belt that's just a ribbon, a jump ring on it, a belt chain, and some earrings and a necklace. Now, I didn't record the making of them, but her little pins on her t-shirt are just little pieces of paper I just colored penciled on the flags. And her final accessory is a Minecraft name tag. I know, a bit of an odd one, but there is a reason. When I go to conventions to sell my art in the artist alley, I'm often dressed up in cosplay. I love to cosplay. It's one of my favorite part of conventions, so I can't resist. If I'm at a con, I have to be dressed up. But when I do this, I usually leave the last day of the con just to dress up as me. Surprisingly, it's really hard to do networking and like make artist friends when you look nothing like your normal self. But on days that I'm not dressed up, I have a little Minecraft name tag I made myself so I can wear. So I'm kind of like still dressed up in some type of costume, you know? So I want to make a mini one so we can match. I printed out her name and I just took a small, clear, thin plastic. I'm just using a lamination sheet I sent through the laminator with no paper in it. Traced the letters on with some Sharpies and then colored it in. It was actually really, really hard to get all those little edges and letters. And so I was struggling. But after I got the letters onto the plastic, I used clear tape to attach it to a wire that I stabbed into her head. Now, after stepping away for a little bit, I knew I wanted to add a couple more things to my doll's face. I added some little gems and this really shiny paint I found that was like kind of a perfect match to what her like glowing glow squid spots were supposed to be, as well as going in and painting on a glossy varnish to her lips and eyes. But with those final touches, she's finally finished. I had so much fun making this doll, and now I get to have a little table buddy for whenever I go to events. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching and joining me on this journey. If there are any doll customizing enthusiasts watching, I apologize for all the horrendous and really janky techniques I used and all the things I probably butchered. I really want to try doing more videos like this in the future, where I try a new art medium or craft out. So if that's something you're interested or might want to see, definitely subscribe and let me know in the comments. Again, I know this is a little bit of a change of scenery from what I usually do on this channel, so I appreciate you all tagging along. But thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye!